Hi guys, I'm back here with Amina's voice. I'm going to read chapter 5 and probably 6 today. Chapter 5 is kind of short, so I'll combine it with 6. I realized I am supposed to say at the beginning of these videos, since I am reading a copyrighted book, that I do have permission from the publisher, Simon & Schuster, to be posting these. Okay? All right, here's chapter. Oh, one more thing before I forget. I did put up a discussion board post on my PowerSchool page so that whenever you have anything that you want to talk about with this book, with me or with other students, you're welcome to post on there reflections, thoughts. If you're doing something at home to learn more about things you learned from this book, anything you want to share, I would love to hear on the discussion board. All right, here we go. Chapter 5. Amina's voice. The swarm of kids pours into a small courtyard where a volunteer hands out slices of lukewarm pizza from a box. It's the break between classes during Sunday school, and I'm starving even though it's only 11 a.m. Take a drink, the lady motions to me. I grab my paper plate and can of lemonade and hurry to a bench where Rabia and our friend Dahlia are eating their pizza. Their class always gets out earlier than mine, and they are a level ahead of me. In Sunday school, your age or grade in regular school doesn't matter. It all depends on how well you can connect Arabic letters into words and how many passages from the Quran or surahs you can recite from memory. Hey, that's a pretty one, I say to Dahlia, pointing to the blue zigzag patterned scarf expertly wrapped around her head. My own slid off my head as I walked toward them and is hanging around my neck like a miniature cape. Thanks, Dahlia says. She carefully bites up to the crust of her pizza. This one's my mom's. Dahlia always wears the hijab, and not just at the Islamic Center. She even sports it at the middle school she goes to. I can't imagine what it would be like to walk through Greendale Middle School and be the only person with a scarf on, but Dahlia makes it seem as natural as wearing a headband, no matter where she is. Imam Malik subbed for our class today, Rabia says, and it was so much fun. Lucky, I reply. I take a couple of bites of the pizza, but the oily cheese makes me want to gag, so I stop. Sister Naima spent half of our class making everyone take turns reading the same line of the Quran over and over again. Boring, they both chime in unison. And she kept yelling the same thing. You're saying it wrong. Not the little ha, the big ha. Well, that's because Sister Naima is from Egypt, like my family, Dahlia says. So, Rabia asks, so her Arabic is perfect. Well, Imam Malik isn't from Egypt, and his Arabic is awesome, Rabia argues. I agree. Imam Malik grew up in Florida and can easily switch between perfect Arabic and English. Even better, he knows as much about cheat codes on video games as religious topics. Yeah, but his parents are Arab, Dahlia reminds us. No offense, but people from Pakistan don't really know how to pronounce Arabic the right way. I'm not offended. Dahlia is right about how most Pakistani people, including my parents, pronounce Arabic differently. I just can't make certain sounds in the Arabic alphabet. No matter how perfect my musical pitch is, it just doesn't translate to Arabic. Plus, my brain doesn't register the way the letters change when they connect to one another. And I get them wrong all the time. I always feel embarrassed when it's my turn to read aloud to the class, and that's the biggest reason I don't like Sunday school. We'd better go back inside, Rabia points to the crowd moving back into the community building that holds the classrooms and social hall. It looks like a giant shoebox next to the shiny curved dome of the mosque with 2 towering minarets. I climb the narrow stairway back to my classroom, trying to avoid getting jostled. The second hour of Sunday school is when I can relax while Sister Naima tells stories of the prophets. Today is one of my favorite stories, the one of Prophet Yusuf and his jealous brothers who threw him into a well. Sister Naima gets super animated as she explains the events and waves her arms around as if she's acting them out. Jealousy is a terrible thing, she warns, and I feel ashamed as Emily pops into my head. Am I jealous of her? Or is it okay if I just want her to go back to her old friends? Don't forget to do your homework, Sister Naima shouts as class ends and everyone rushes out. I head to the mosque for prayer, stopping first at the bathroom to do wudu. There's a special faucet at knee height with a little bench in front where I sit and rub my hands in the cold water before rinsing my mouth and nose. I splash my face and hairline and pass a wet hand over my ears and neck. Then I roll up my sleeves and wash up to the elbow before finally kicking off my sandals and running my feet through the stream of water. I walk out, shaking off the extra water, and adjust my scarf tight around my head so it won't fall off again. I enter the cool mosque, slip off my sandals on the marble floor by the women's entrance, and put them neatly onto the shelves. Rabia has saved me a spot on the plush green carpet next to her. In the hush of the prayer hall, with its crystal chandelier, gold trim, and big plaques with Arabic calligraphy decorating the walls, a familiar calm washes over me. A woman in front of us kneels in prayer, touching her head to the ground, while her baby tugs on her shirt. An older lady mouths prayers with a string of beads in her hand, and I spot Mama in the corner reading the Quran quietly with Salma Auntie and their other friends. My earliest memory of the mosque is being here with my parents during Ramadan for special nightly prayers when I was 3 or 4. I stood with Mama in my tiny headscarf with sewn-in elastic to keep it in place and tried to stay still. But after a while, I'd get bored and wander to the back of the prayer hall and run around with the other kids while different ladies took turns hushing us. Imam Malik's voice comes over the speakers. Brothers and sisters, I have a few announcements. First, the book sale will be going on for 1 hour after prayer in the community hall. Second, we are taking nominations for PTA officers. And finally, I'm excited to share that we will be hosting our first Quran recitation competition for students from all over the state on November 15th, inshallah. A few people start murmuring as the Imam continues. All students are encouraged to participate. I'm sure you'll make us proud. The winner will get 4 tickets to Six Flags and a big check for college savings. The buzz grows louder. We'll be handing out a flyer next Sunday, but parents, make sure to register your kids as soon as possible. Uh-oh. I turn my head back toward Mama to see if she's paying attention, but she is still looking at the Quran. I think back. Sorry, guys. Got something poking me in the eye. I think back to my moment of panic when my voice left me stranded during the 2nd grade play. If I couldn't manage to speak English, which I'm fluent in, on a stage, how would I possibly make out Arabic words in my pathetic accent? This Quran competition is something I want nothing to do with. I say a quick prayer that Mama wasn't paying attention and that she won't sign me up as soon as everyone gets up and stands in neat rows. Folding my hands across my chest, I try to concentrate as the Imam starts to lead us in prayer with the familiar praise of God. There is a short line of it, but I don't know how to pronounce it, and I don't feel comfortable with trying to do that and possibly messing it up. Are you kidding me? This is chapter 6. Are you kidding me? Baba shouts. That's pass interference. Where's the call? That's good defense, Mustafa counters, a little smirk plays on his lips. Get your eyes checked, Baba scowls at the black and white striped referee on the television screen, shaking his head while Mustafa snickers. You too, Baba glowers. You and your Packers, bunch of cheaters. Why do you care so much? You're not playing in the game, are you? Mama says from the corner of the room where she's dumped out a mound of laundry. She sits folding clothes into neat piles on the carpet. Yeah, Baba, chill out. Your Bears are only down by 13. Mustafa pats Baba on the leg. I'll chill you out. Baba pushes Mustafa over on the sofa and starts pounding him on the shoulder while Mama laughs and throws bald socks at them. I watch the commotion safe in my favorite leather armchair where I'm curled up with a worn copy of Life on the Oregon Trail. I checked out the fat volume from the school library in the hopes it would help give our team an advantage in Mrs. Barton's social studies project. The book is filled with diary entries written by the pioneers themselves during their time on the trail. And even though a lot of it is flat out horrifying, I can't stop reading. I shudder thinking of the kids my age who walked 15 miles a day for months carrying everything they owned with them in their wagons, only to get an awful disease and be buried in shallow graves along the trail or drown in a river crossing. It suddenly makes working with my wagon group seem like a trip to the mall. Aren't you tired yet? 3 hours of watching these helmets just jumping on each other, Mama asks. I already sorted my clothes and took them upstairs to my room. Then I practiced singing one of the solo choices Miss Holly had listed for the winter concert, just for fun. It was A Change Is Gonna Come, performed by Aretha Franklin. It felt incredibly satisfying to blast out the words, I was born by the river, in my biggest voice. Something about the song made me feel powerful, and I even started to daydream about signing up for the concert and finally getting the chance to surprise everyone with my secret. Just like Stella on The Voice, I could transform from a skinny, shy girl in a plaid shirt and jeans into a glamorous star in a sequined gown. Well, maybe I'd skip the sequined gown part, but I could at least be confident, sure of herself Amina, ready to share my talent with the school and eventually with the rest of the world. But then I remembered how my voice would betray me, shrink back and cling to my lungs, while I stupidly stand on stage with people staring at me. I turned off the song and went back downstairs. It's over, Baba says. 2 minutes. They can't come back. He flips off the TV and shakes his head. Okay then, get up everyone. I need your help. Mama picks up her notepad, where she always scribbles down important to-do lists. I dread that notepad. Daya John is coming in less than 2 weeks, and we need to get this house ready. Right now, Mustafa complains. I think I have English homework to finish. Oh, now you remember your homework after sitting on that sofa all day? No, get up, Mama commands. You will have plenty of time after dinner. What do you want us to do? Baba asks tentatively. I need you to take this laundry upstairs, then go through that pile in the corner of the garage. Mustafa, I want you to dust all the lights and ceiling fans using the ladder and put away that extra bedding in the guest room. What about Amina? Mustafa points to where I'm sitting with my book in front of my face, hoping Mama won't notice me. I'm getting to her. Amina, take out the good cutlery and polish the silver serving dishes. Johnny, Baba starts using his affectionate name for Mama. Believe me, Baijan doesn't care about polished silver or what we keep in the garage. Besides, garages are meant for junk. Mustafa and I exchange hopeful looks. Maybe Baba can convince Mama to relax and forget the chores. No, your brother is used to a big house with lots of help where everything is perfect. You are all the help I have. Now get up. Mama clearly means business, so we all get moving. I rummage through the china cabinet in the dining room and pull out green boxes of silver serving spoons blackened with tarnish. Polishing silver reminds me of preschool, where I did all these random chores like sorting, scrubbing, and sewing giant buttons with a blunt needle. I actually kind of still like it. I sit down at the kitchen table and hum while I smear the thick pink polish all over the spoons with a cotton ball and watch it pull off the layer of black. Mama is a blur of activity as she minces a huge pile of onions and garlic in a mini chopper and puts a jumbo pot on the stove. When the onions are sizzling in the pot, Mama throws in fresh ginger, tomatoes, and spices to create the masala that forms the base of all her meals. Even with the window open and the kitchen exhaust fan running, the house will soon be filled with the scent. I've already made sure that my bedroom door is shut tight so my clothes won't absorb the smell. And luckily, I'm not going anywhere else today, since it's probably already penetrated my hair. I learned my lesson about the cooking smell the hard way after I left my hoodie in the kitchen one morning in 4th grade while Mama was up early cooking before work. When I got to the elementary school's all-purpose room to wait for the first morning bell, Julie took a big, exaggerated sniff from across the room and asked, Did somebody bring in Chinese food? Then, like a bloodhound working a trail, she made her way over to me, where she finally said, in her most offended tone, Oh my God, it's you. Everyone started to laugh, and then Luke, always the most obnoxious kid in the class, started calling me Hunan Express, which Emily thought was hilarious and kept repeating over and over again. Even though the nickname didn't stick, I was humiliated for at least 3 days, until Luke forgot about me and moved on to his next victim. My face burns with the memory as my eyes sting from the spices. What are you making? I asked Mama, trying not to think about Emily or why Sujin is acting like she is okay with her all of a sudden. The big pots are usually reserved for dinner parties, and Mama hasn't mentioned having one anytime soon. I'm making food to freeze for when John comes. Really? Why don't you just cook when he's here? I asked. How much extra is one man going to eat? I don't want to serve him leftovers. I'm going to freeze this for the days I don't have time to cook. Baba walks in from the garage holding a dust-covered mini vacuum. Do you want this? He asks Mama. No, it doesn't work. Just throw it away. Mama waves her hand. How do we collect so much rubbish? Is someone coming over for dinner? Baba asks, peering into the pots on the stove. No, Mama grumbles. I'm cooking for your brother. Baba laughs. I told you already. Don't overdo it. Mama, beads of sweat covering her forehead, lets out a long sigh. First you talk about how Baijan is like a father to you and how you are worried he won't be happy here. And now you tell me not to get ready for him? I'm not worried that he won't like the food or how clean the house is. I'm worried he won't like the way things are here or the way we live. What's wrong with the way we live? I stop polishing and freeze in my seat, hoping my parents won't make me leave the room like they usually do when they have an argument. There's nothing wrong with the way we live. Mama stirs the food in the pot hard, and her spoon hits the sides. We work hard and have raised good, decent children. I know, but Baijan is so traditional. He worries about us turning away from Islam, and you know everything to him is black and white. Baba speaks in a hush as if his brother might overhear him from thousands of miles away. Do you think he won't want us to go trick-or-treating? I interrupted without thinking. Baba turns around, startled to see me. What do you mean, Gita? His voice is suddenly soft. Well, remember last year at Sunday school, a few of the parents and teachers were saying that trick-or-treating was haram? That Halloween came from devil worshipping or something? That we shouldn't do it? Baba frowns, even though his eyes look amused. I don't know if Thaya John has ever heard of Halloween or trick-or-treating, but I'm guessing he wouldn't like it much. If he's here on Halloween, can we still go? Sujin and I already decided that we're going to dress up together as ketchup and mustard bottles. Yes, of course you can go. Now it's Baba's turn to sigh. He looks at Mama, who sits down with a glass of water across from me. You're right, Johnny, he says to Mama. We're both worried about Baijan's visit for different reasons, but it will be fine. I hope so, Mama says, but she sounds totally unconvinced. And besides, Baba continues as Mustafa walks into the kitchen, my brother memorized the Quran when we were young and hasn't forgotten a letter. He can help the kids prepare for the competition. What competition? Mustafa asks. He grabs an apple from the fruit bowl and tears a chunk out of it with his teeth. Didn't you hear Imam Malik talk about it before prayer? Oh, I must have been concentrating on prayer, Mustafa says quickly between chews. I didn't hear him. He looks at the ground as he speaks. Well, the center is hosting a statewide Quran competition for the students, and I signed you both up. You did what? Mustafa spits out the words. I'm not doing it. Mustafa, watch your mouth, Mama warns. Shouldn't I have a say in this? Mustafa asks, looking back and forth at Mama and Baba with raised eyebrows. My stomach starts to churn, and not from the food smells or because I'm getting hungry for dinner. It's a mixture of hating to see Mustafa argue with our parents and dreading the idea of the competition. But maybe Mustafa can get us both out of it. Imam Malik specifically asked that you and Amina participate. He wants our support, and we should give it to him. Baba isn't about to take a request from the Imam lightly. Even though there's a big age difference between them, he's a good friend of Baba's, and he used to visit us often before he got married last year. He even taught Mustafa how to ice skate when he was little. You know, I have school and homework. This is going to take up a lot of my time, Mustafa argues. You make time for basketball, Baba warns. You will make time for this too. Since Mustafa got the permission he needed to try out and made the team, he's been extra good about getting his homework done and taking out the trash and recycling without being nagged. He's also stopped talking back as often as usual, until right now. Aw, come on. I don't want to stand up and recite Arabic in front of a bunch of random people. I'm not that good at it, and it's just awkward. Amen, brother. Not people, Mustafa. This is your community, Mama corrects. It's just as important as your team or your friends. You're an example for the younger kids. So basically, you're saying I have no choice. Mustafa waves his half-eaten apple in exasperation. Yes, we are saying that, Baba says firmly. Mustafa stares at him and opens his mouth to say something else, but instead he takes another big bite of his apple, turns, and leaves the kitchen. I don't dare say a word. My parents are clearly united on this and convinced that the competition is something their kids have to do. There's no point trying to tell them that speaking in front of a crowd is something I haven't gotten over, as much as everyone tells me I need to, or warning them that my Arabic performance is just going to embarrass them anyway. Baba would just say his piece about what's this embarrassing and why do you care what other people think. I wouldn't dare point out that he cares a whole lot what Dayajan and Imam Malik think. Plus, at this point, they would just think I was making excuses like Mustafa. I bite my nails deep in thought. One way or another, I'm going to find some way to get out of the competition. That's the end of chapter 6. Come back next time for chapter 7. I think next time is going to be probably 7, 8, and 9 because they're all very short. See you next time, guys.